What's going on, guys? Rob A here, and once again it is time for a NERFtorial, a Nerf painting tutorial. Like how I did that? Super clever, right? So today we're actually going to be doing the Nerf Zombie Strike. What is it? Clear Shot. The Clear Shot. The name of the gun is like so small down here, but it is the Zombie Strike Clear Shot. This is in the United States, a Target exclusive, so I don't know where you'll find it if you're, in a different part of the world, but, keep an eye out. It looks neat. I've heard it's kind of a crappy Nerf gun, but this is a commission piece for somebody that just really likes steampunk stuff, and that is going to be the paint scheme that we're going to be going with. It is going to be kind of the typical steampunk, like black and gold and bronze and things like that. So if that is not your style, either just watch just to see like some of the painting techniques, or just sit this one out until I do another Nerf video, which I've got a lot planned, but I do tend to gravitate toward this style, so bear with me. If there's something specifically you want to see, please leave a comment in the comments below. Thank you. So for now, the first thing we got to do is get this guy out of the package, and it looks like I will not be able to retain the packaging on this one, as it is just held in with little plastic inserts. So that's kind of a bummer, but it's not that big a deal. I'll just put it in a nice box or something for them. But anyway, I'm going to go ahead and get this guy open, and then we will start taking it apart. Okie dokie, guys, we have got our gun out of the packaging, and I even went ahead and pulled one of the caution stickers. You can get these off without too much trouble. You just got to be very, very careful and very patient with it. But we'll mess with that in just a second. I just want to go over something real quick. So here's the blaster, even more basic than I had than it looked in the package. You really kind of need the scope, otherwise it just looks pretty sad without it. Yeah, but looks pretty fun. The scope is going to be my biggest concern, to be perfectly honest, just because it's just the two screws visible here, and I'm very, very concerned that this is actually glued together, and that is going to cause a major problem for me. Simply, because I really want to paint it, and I guess we'll just have to find another way. We'll have to tape off the sight glass, which is okay because there's only the one, but at the same time that's really, really bad. Because there is just the one piece of clear plastic there, and I can tape over it here, but getting the inside of it taped off is going to be a problem. I might have to just like stuff it with cotton balls or something before I paint it, because once we start painting in here, you're going to get paint everywhere else. I apologize for the shaky cam. I have, let me show you this for a second here. Yeah. So here's my setup. I have this table that I'm basically doing all of my work on. I have this little arm here that I attach the camera to try and get it up and out of the way, because my typical camera stand, this little guy, is just too short to actually let you see what I'm doing here. So I attach it to this, but unfortunately the only place I have to attach this big clamp to is on the table itself that I'm working on. So unfortunately it does lead to shaking, which I do apologize for. But until I get a better solution, which I cannot currently afford right now, this is what I'm dealing with. So I do apologize, bear with me, and we'll all make it out of here alive, okay? Alright, so moving right along, these are the tools that I generally will ask you know, not that I ask you, I don't, you guys do whatever you want. But these are the general rules that or tools that I keep on hand for a project like this, and I would suggest that you do the same because it makes your life a whole lot easier. So, get yourself a Ziploc or, you know, whatever brand, I don't care, a zip storage bag of the snack size variety. It's the small one. You can use whatever size you want, but the snack size is just nice because it's small, just for the screws. Because you don't want to lose those, you don't want to get them mixed in with other things, and you just want your bag with the screws, and you just have that ready to put the screws in so you don't lose them. Then you get a quart or a sandwich size bag, probably quart maybe for something like this, although I don't think it'll have that much by way of internals. But any internal parts, especially if you're doing a bigger weapon, you know, that can have all the, you know, all the different tubes and things inside of it, that you want to put in a bag like this. So just stuff to keep things separate and make sure that, you know, whatever lubricant they put on the internals doesn't get all over everything else, and, you know, just basic stuff like that. You also want a Phillips head screwdriver, or a crosshead screwdriver, whatever you call them. The proper term is Phillips head, just so you know. I have a couple of different sizes. I've even got a big one. I don't think we'll need the big one, but you just want to make sure that it fits into the holes in the weapon, which is usually a 5mm hole for the screws. Sometimes a bit smaller, so just make sure you have something that accommodates that. And that's pretty much all you're going to need for right now. You can grab, you know, if you have one of these sets, which most folks do. And if you don't, I suggest you go out and get one. They're super cheap. They're like $5 or less. You can even get them at a dollar store probably, for just a small set of screwdrivers like these, where you get like 5 or 6 real small screwdrivers. And they're really good because you get this tiny one for like prying things open if you need it. And they're just really, really handy to have around. So I'd highly suggest getting one of those if you don't already have one. So all that stuff said, I think we can actually start doing customization now. So we're going to start with this because I'm a little... Oh, we're not going to start with that. We're going to start with this because I want to get this sticker off. And just what I want to do is just kind of... Just let it be. Don't pull it up. Pull it kind of out. Like, pull it toward you. And you should be able to get it without too much difficulty and without all that nasty residue. So that helps. There's a couple little blobs up there which we can easily take care of, and that is fantastic. So we've got our weapon here, Zombie Strike Clear Shot and stuff, and now we're going to start with this. And here we go. We're just going to pop these screws out and hope for the best. And yeah, it's always an exciting time to take apart a Nerf blaster that you've never taken apart before. You get the rush of, is this going to be a nightmare or what? And my hope is always that no. My hope is that it's never a nightmare, but you know. Alright, so we've got that apart, or we've got that out, and yeah, it looks like this is all glued together. So that's gonna be really not fun at all. Yeah, alright, so we're gonna have to come up with a solution on this. It's gonna be a lot harder to paint now. I really hate the fact that they glue these together. It's the most obnoxious thing ever. But it is what it is, and you just gotta deal with it. So we're gonna put this aside for now because there's nothing we can do with that for right this second. And let's get all these, looks like about 250,000 screws out of this this blaster here. So we're going to put these screws in our little baggie, and I think will be easy to identify because they're the big silver ones. And honestly, they're just going to go right back in because there's no point in having them out, but we're going to put that off to the side for now and get to unscrewing. Alright, so I suppose at this point I will just speed up the video so you guys don't have to watch me remove every single screw from this weapon. This Nerf gun. I don't know what to call it. It's so weird. But yeah, I think I'm just going to go ahead and pause the video here. And I will, well, not pause it, but I'll speed it up. And we'll meet on up at the other side. Okay guys, so we have the screws out, and first thing we are going to do is grab these guys all together and put them in our little baggie. Like so. I'll leave this right here because we've got a couple more screws left over, and we're going to open up this bit back here, and that's okay, interesting. Alright, so this is the kind of the frame of the beast here. I'll just wiggle it on out. Wiggle it, wiggle it, wiggle it. There we go. Oh, I see. So this is kind of loosey-goosey in there. That's... Oh, it's not loose, it's just on a spring. I see. Okay, so that's going to be fun to try and get back together, but it's alright. So we've got the back end right here, so we can just put this aside. That's ready to go. Here's the blaster itself. There is another screw right in here that we want to get to. And then that will come right off. That's an interesting thing, this little end cap. So, you know, you could even have the blaster just like this if you really wanted to, and it would still look pretty cool even without that. And then you could leave this orange. So if you're going to, you know, a convention or something, you could even just pop that right back on and have the safety orange cap on it for the convention. But it will also depend on whatever convention you're going to, because I know some of them have very specific rules about that sort of thing. So just, you know, check it out before you go. But for now, we can open this guy up. Hopefully nothing will pop out or shoot off at us. Oh, nope, nope, nope. There's another screw right there. I totally missed it. Totally missed it. And that was the whole reason I did that, the gray priming mechanism too, because I was like, there's probably a screw underneath here. I really need to figure it out. But there we go. Now we got it. Now we can lift this up and take a look here. I'll grab this last screw out. Hopefully, there we go. A little hanger on there. So inside the weapon here, we can see the frame. We've got this little guy, which I guess is dart storage, I suppose, kind of lame, but that's fine. We'll just put that off to the side. We've got more dart storage over here, so that's cool. And the inside of the frame, super basic, very nice. Very nice to see that. And again, the whole weapon mechanism, oh, this really just hangs in there just like that, huh? Okay. So we just have to remember that this goes right in there. We're going to put this in our internals bag because it does not need to be painted. And we don't want to lose it, so we're just going to stick that right in there. We've got this, which just fell out, so I don't actually know. This, I think, goes just in here like that. Okay, so that is the inside of this. So it's more dart storage, basically, is what this is. So we'll just put that over there. And then this is the major component. I'll just pull it off. So this is going to have the lubricant, which is kind of hard to see. It's very, very light, but this is actually going to get a paint job. So, you know, we're going to keep this out for now. Thankfully, there's not a lot of lubricant inside this thing. It's mostly on the rubber, what do you want to call it, washer here, or gasket, whichever you prefer. And we'll just pull this whole orange piece off as well. So this all goes together, and we'll probably drop the screw, but hopefully we'll drop it inside the bag, and then we'll be okay. There we go. All just one big shot here. Pull the rail mount out and just pop this over here. We'll pop this screw in our internals bag. And then last but not least, we have our trigger. So very, very basic weapon, very nice. Should be easy to you know, not only paint, but to reassemble, which is a very nice change of pace after all the electronic blasters I've been working with. So we'll just pull the long spring out and stick that back in there. And it's also good, you know, if you're going to be painting your blaster to once you have it open, take a photo, like just use your phone or whatever, take a photograph of the inside, just so you can see where everything goes before you take it apart. So it makes it a whole lot easier to put it back together again afterwards. And then I'm just going to take the screw that held down the trigger and just screw it right back into its place, so that way we won't lose it and we don't have to worry about it. So here's our trigger. Here's this. Ready for, well, ready for sanding. Not quite ready for painting, but it's ready for sanding down and preparing for a base coat. So I'm going to pause the video and then we will be right back to do all of that fun stuff. Alright guys, so here is what we've got going so far. So I've taken all of the pieces, the major large bits that have paint on them at least, and I've sanded down at least the first couple of layers of the paint. You can see there's still a little bit of shine on there, so we'll just take a quick strip to that. And basically I just took some regular sandpaper. This is 150 grit, I believe. I think it's 150, yeah. So it's a medium grit. And we're just going to go ahead and kind of, this is very difficult with one hand, but, well, not one hand, but you know what I mean. Trying to do it on camera is difficult, is what I'm trying to say. But so we've got this all kind of, you know, shaved down a bit. You know, I took the shine off of it. I did the same to the sight here. I stuck a couple of cotton balls in the end, and on this end I just put some tape and just kind of tucked it in around the edges And we'll just touch that up by hand if we have to, and again roughed up the paint. So basically what I'm going to do now is throw everything in my painting box and then give it a base coat of flat black. And again, it's just going to be this super cheap flat black spray paint. So I'm going to go ahead and get that started, and I will see you guys shortly. Alright guys, so for those of you that have never watched any of these tutorials before, this is going to be all new, but for those of you that have already seen it, you kind of know what's going on here. I'm just going to go ahead and give it a light base coat. For now, we're going to use our flat black, and we're just going to go real light. And we don't have to necessarily get everything in one pass here, because we'll go back and give it another coat afterward. But we just want to kind of get everything covered at least a little, just so we can start adhering the paint to the plastic, and that'll give us a head start for everything else, you know. And if you see anything that doesn't look right, if it's like if the paint looks like it's just beading up on the surface of the plastic, you might want to pull it and let the paint dry first, and then pull it off, and then just give it a quick sand, just to really get the shininess of the plastic down a bit, just so the paint will adhere a little better. That should be all for that. But easily the hardest part is going to be this sight. I can sense, I can feel it in my bones. That's going to be problematic, but you guys get the idea of what's going on here. Actually, this internal piece here is the internal barrel. That's only just going to get the first quick coat. It just has to be a little dark on the inside so it doesn't pop out orange, but it's going to be basically not completely visible from the outside, so just the light coat will do, and then we'll pull that because we don't want to risk damaging the internals, so we're just going to pull that as soon as it's dry. But the rest of these, we'll let them dry, and then I'll go over it with another 1 to 2 coats, depending on what's needed, and then we'll be ready for our you know, starting our metallics and things like that, our other colors. But for now, I am going to split this tutorial up into separate sections, just to make things easier on me. So that's going to do it for this one. I will see you guys in the next one. Bye for now.